Good morning, everyone. My name is Debbie Mann, and I'm with Festivals and Events Ontario. And I'd like to welcome you to Tuesday Talks with FEO. We have our guest today, Hany Mikhael from Rescounts.com. Hany, who is is a partner of ours. And he's got a really interesting product, and we're grateful for you being here, Hany. So welcome. We are recording this, everyone. So just so that you know that if you are moving around a lot or you need to leave your desk, you can put yourself on stop video, but we hope you will interact with Hany and myself. I'm going to keep saying Hany because I've been saying that for over a year.
For the last 2 years.
So welcome. And so let me just give you a bit of an introduction to Hany. Hany is a senior level marketing professional with 20 plus years of experience across 6 countries and brands like IHG, Hilton, and Marriott. Dr. Hany Mikhael, I did it again. Dr. Hany Mikhael redefines the statement, the sky's the limit. Combining this expertise in the fields of marketing, franchising, technology, restaurants, and loyalty and trade shows, Hany leaves no stone unturned in his quest to make the customer's experience in the world of dining memorable. Well, welcome. Thank you for joining us and doing this with Festivals and Events Ontario.
Thanks, Debbie. It's my pleasure, as always, being with you guys. Thank you, everybody, for joining me today. Looking forward that you guys get to know about Rescounts and what we can do, especially with this difficult time moving forward, for a better experience for everybody.
Wonderful. So just to let people know, Hany was a relatively new member of ours in 2019, joined our conference in 2020, got a lot, had a marketplace booth and hung out and was getting to know you guys. And then unfortunately, here we are today. So Hany, so tell us about, so what you're doing is you're leveraging technology post-COVID to ensure attendees, performers, staff, and volunteers safety while maximizing revenue and reduce marketing expenses. I'm reading that. So how do you see our industry moving forward post-COVID? I mean, there feels like there's a shift. I don't know what it is, or it's just because the sun is shining, but how do you see our industry going in the near future?
Industry is going to move because what we saw today was COVID. It was a surprise. Nobody was expecting, nobody was planning, nobody was having such a contingency plan. What could be the actions or the steps to cover that? So industry will change towards more of technology, more of planning in terms of something, if something happens, not just because of safety for the attendee, it's for the whole thing, whether it is evacuation plan or something missing, people has problems. So we need to have a better connection with our attendee. We need to keep a track of every single person's coming, not only for marketing purpose, but for the case something happened like that, because even COVID is luckily that we are moving to its end now. However, there is a new variant we are talking about, so we don't know how it will take us. Which it's going to be severe or it's going to be light. We don't know. And now after COVID, learning lesson for all of us, so we can expect XYZ to happen, another virus down the road, which will affect again our industry. So I feel from our side as organizer, we just need to keep better communication, better track for our attendee and vendors and volunteers, everybody in it. And on the other aspect, from attendee standpoint, I feel everybody now is desperate. Everybody want to go out. So I feel that the amount of people attending each event, it will getting bigger, especially after everybody has got the second vaccine or the second dose. So everybody is feeling safe So the amount of people attending will be much, much more because people need to have fun. It's been 2 years now. We didn't go out, we didn't enjoy, we didn't have such experience because we know festival, it is a day that everybody's looking for.
Mhm.
It is a totally break. You just leave your thought, your all what you do every day just for the sake to enjoy it. So we need this moment again. So amount of festivals and people attending the festival will be much more coming, in my view.
Wonderful. And I agree. I hope things will, yeah, we need our industry. We need to reconnect with our industry, with each other, and with our communities. So can you give us just a really high overview of what your product does? Because I thought it was fascinating about, I called it, you called it this, ahead of the line, right? For ordering food when, we weren't worried about everything. So can you give us an overview of what your product does?
Absolutely. Basically, it was targeting the main problem of every single festival, which is the main problem of all attendee. I stay a long time to get food. The lineup is always a big challenge. So we jump in as solving this problem. So it is a very simple mobile application, free to download, free to use, available in all app stores, where customer downloading in a second because it's too light. There is no so many things on it. It is simple. So the downloaded creates their profile, Facebook, Gmail, or whatever it is, and then they will see all list of vendors. If it is 10, 20, 50, 100, regardless how many there are, they will see all vendors. And every vendor they will see all their menus from A to Z, every single item, drinks, everything. And they will be able to select and choose and place their order. So no need to stay in line anymore. They will pick, choose, pay, and then when the order is ready, they go to pick it up. Every food vendor, normally we give them a sort of tablet or a device where they can receive orders. We provide the internet as well, so no need to it's all done. All what they do, food vendor is accepting. That's it. So it is better process for everybody. Users are happy because I'm not in line. If I'm having my kids, always we know how the situation is a bit difficult with kids. They don't want to stay. So this is a very good solution. And vendors, sometimes what happens if I'm having two lines for vendors for food, one is long and one small. Immediately I will leave the long and go to the small. All of us do that. So the long line vendor, he already lost a customer. So now he won't lose anyone. Actually, he will gain because it's additional revenue. So that was a very fundamental idea, which has been proven concept. We've been in so many events in 2019, and it was and they are the one to introduce you for you guys, like Jerk Fest.
Yeah, Anthony.
Anthony, yes, it was fantastic experience. It was 3 days weekend. It was lovely. They have 13 food vendors, attendee around 40 or 45K within the 3 days. We got, I guess, 500 or 600 people. They place their order on the application. Everybody's happy. Went nicely. Then we went for Muslim Fest in Mississauga. Went for Halal Food Toronto in Exhibition Center. Went for Taste of Middle East.
Mm-hmm.
And all of them went, Karasoga, we've been there in some of the pavilion, not all, but always the feedback was positive. And then that was in 2019. So in the conference in Richmond Hill in Feb, where I got the chance to talk with so many organizers, cities. So there were so many feedback. Why are you restricting it to food? What about other vendors? What about kids and kids activities? Especially, I remember city of Burlington, they were having this comment that artists and face painting and this stuff, it's always a big challenge for us to manage and to to arrange it. Everybody's complaining, everyone. So we listen. This is one of the pieces that we got it. So we introduce now a more feature to the application. So now Rescounts, it will become a festival solution, everything on it. So food is always there. Now we are adding all type of vendors, somebody who's selling books, somebody who's selling shirts, whatever, they can do that. And and kids activities too. So now if we have artist A who's doing face painting, so he will have his place within the app, and me as an attendee, I can select. I have my kid, so I'll book for my kid from, if it is 10 o'clock, 10 minutes, for example, to every kid. So 10 to 10, I booked one spot, and then 10:20 to 10:30, another spot, and so forth. Parallel, so the artist will have a very simple on his app to have his schedule that he has from 10 to 10:05 is Hany, and then 5 to 20 somebody else, and so forth. So it is arranging it. And the beauty is that we are introduced so many way of communication with our user, and this is very nice. So it is a push notification where you get it on the app, so you don't need to line up. So if I'm booking for my kid by 11:30, I don't need to be on line up from 11 or 10:30 to get my place. By 11:25, I got my notification to tell me, hey, it's time to go. Very simple and easy, simultaneously and seamlessly experience. Same goes for the food. When you put your order on the for any of your meal, by the time it is ready, you will get a notification. Food vendor can push, it is ready, you go and pick it up and go. And even we are going one step further now that we are introducing delivery within the festival. Where,
Wow, okay.
Yeah. So, and it is simply, if it is on the big event, like I remember, for example, Jerk Fest, where it is too fast, and it is time people are having fun with a singer, they can place their order, and we will be having a runner who will deliver their food on the spot, because if they have on the app to location, tracking location, so
there
you go, this is your food. Another feature, if they are interested. So food vendor, also about the kids, other kids activities apart from artists, like the jumping or the jungle or whatever it is, based on the information that every kid has to be there maximum 10 minutes, for example, and the maximum capacity is 20 kids at a time. So it is going with the same exact idea. Every parent can book for their kid within the same capacity and up to the capacity. Unless they go, then another opportunity for booking, and it will be time managing with time slots. So it's another service. Also, there is a ticket piece. In case some event wanted to use tickets, it is always there to book and then to be scanned on the door if people want to use it. But the most important piece is, even for not for ticket or not for paid ticket, it will be information. So after learning COVID lesson now, we need to keep information of our customer. So email and phone number is more than enough. So it will be a way of communication pre-event while you are introducing your new event. Today is 2021, you have your event, and you are planning for 2022. So you can communicate with all your previous database through a press of a button. You want to send an email? Press. And you can select so many different way of choosing. You can say, I need to select people who ordered burger. I need to select people who has used vendor 1, vendor 2, vendor 3. I need to send for everybody. And that will help us a lot also in the post-event when we are sending the survey or the questionnaire. Because normally what I saw as people are sending on their Facebook page. So normally if an event having 50,000 attendees, how many people are on their Facebook page? Probably 2,000, 5,000, even 5,000 is a great achievement. And if 5,000 you put it, so how many people will fill the survey? 100, 200? So you are putting your plan for a 50,000 event based just in 100 or 200 survey, the information will be a little bit not accurate. On the other hand, what we are offering now is Rescounts. You are having the 50,000 information on hand. You can send the survey for the 50,000. Out of the 50,000, you can get 5,000 survey filled. So you have a real strong info that you can build on it accordingly. Plus, you can communicate with them all marketing materials that you need, an offer, a special thing within the event itself. Like, for example, this 2 to 4 o'clock, probably it is not busy, probably, or 4 to 5. So we can communicate with our attendee to tell them, hey guys, vendor XYZ is offering 10% discount now. Go and enjoy it. There is a lot of marketing elements that we can play on with email and with a push notification, as I'm saying, and SMS too. So these are capabilities that are built in on the system already. So it is based on vendors and based on festival organizer, what they want to use. You want to use only this piece or the whole piece or the whole solution. And another piece, which I guess it will help so many of us, it is the point of sale. Because just to manage the cash piece, some organizers, they told me we need to keep a track because of the big volume. So they need to keep a track of how much our festival do generate when they are doing their economic report, because normally it is based on the feedback of the vendor, which normally they don't really say an accurate number. So now when they have a POS, it is typically the same as a restaurant. When you go to buy your burger, a person is punching in the order, give you a receipt. So now this POS, when we are giving it to everybody, vendor, food vendor, or kids, anything, you are having 100% track. I'm saying 100%.
So are you saying that the food vendor, even if you're not skipping the line, that whoever they're taking orders from in the lineup would use the same, your solution Rescounts, so that, okay, so it's not two separate systems. It's, you know, there's not me ordering it and coming in 20 minutes versus, you know, Jay standing in line and waiting. It would all go onto the Rescounts application.
Absolutely. It's everything in one. It's all in one. And it is based on vendor. He need a lineup, he need a PS. It is solution. So it is pick and choose. It is when you go. So it is not an open buffet. It is a la carte menu. You choose what you select. And it is based on the organizer. How do you want to do your solution for your vendors? The preliminary idea and what we saw in, I remember with Anthony in Jerk, it was a mandate. He's saying, even I attended the meeting with the food vendors at the time, and he's saying, this is the way it is. I need to keep track. I need to give a better solution for my attendee. It's been 20 years that I'm doing this thing. So now it is about time to introduce some technology. So this is the way. And it happened. We had every single vendor, even the corn cars, the juice, everything. It was in, and it went well. Also, we were planning to add the alcoholic bar, because in the app we have this option. We have disclaimers to say that we don't serve below age. If you are below age, we will refund it and we cancel it. We need to ask you for an ID, and you have to. So all things has been taken care of. But in some of the event where the alcohol is served, the lineup is crazy. Is double the food ones, because there is no multiple bars. It is 1 or 2 versus 15 vendor. So of course lineup goes longer and longer. So then it becoming a solution. So going back with the POS, so you place your order for the burger and a Pepsi, then you go. You don't need to keep on waiting. Just go whenever it is ready. You will get your notification. Your order is ready. Come and pick it up. Or you will be asked, would you like us to deliver to you? If the vendor has decided that I need to deliver for the runner and he's adding 50 cents or $1 extra, whatever it is. So it is more into interaction, one, and keeping track, two. Most importantly, I'm having all my database. We need to communicate, whether in case that anything happened, evacuation, or there is something happen, we need to know who the people came. So even if they didn't use, they didn't buy nothing, they don't get, having an email and a name or a phone number, we are on a safe side now as a organizers. So we
So
will.
do you have the option of putting, or can you put like city, province, or city, state? Just because I think it would be great for people to know, where instead of, because in our industry, it's doing surveys, economic surveys. It's a manual, or now I guess they do it on a tablet. But if you're keeping track of that, and anyway, they don't have to put their address, but if they just put their city, the city, province, state, and country, then it's a great way for people to know, to be able to identify who is coming from where.
Absolutely. It's already, we have the first piece, which is coming from which city, because we were based in Ontario for 2019, but on the coming one, we are adding some other information as a demographics. Even we have, and that you've already taken me for the last piece, which is—
Okay, sorry. I jumped the line there.
You're right. Yeah, so it is all about the report. We will be providing so many insight about your event, post-event, because I'm having all attendee. So I can tell you, you have 49,722 attendee. And then we are having Mr. and Mrs. and others. So I can tell you 20% are male, 50% are female, and so forth.
So you can even give demographics too, right? Like age range between this and this, so many kids, etc.
Yep. And that even the most important piece, it is linked to their average spend. So you'll get to know that your attendee average spend per event is $70. If it is younger, is spending 25. He's spending more in beverage versus food. For kids, how many times they use the different games, 5 or 7. And you are having your POS for vendors, how many they sold. So you will have a real meat information to know that my user or my attendee on average spend $15 in food, $20 in beverage, and $50 in kids activities. So now next year, when you are sharing with vendors or getting new vendors, you can, if you want to add some small sort of fees or whatever, you have already more information. So this is a demographic report, not a demographic report. I'm saying it is end of event report, where all information is there based on already we have the inputs. So it is a matter of getting it in a way to visualize, to measure your success.
Now, what kind of, so I know you said with the Jerk Fest with Anthony that it was mandatory for the marketplace or the vendors to participate. Do you find that you get any pushback in those that aren't mandated? I'm sure you do, because like, what vendor really wants to report all their sales?
With Anthony in Jerk Fest, we were not having the POS system at that time.
Oh, okay.
That skip the line. Although we have it was 13 vendor. We had at the meeting one pushback. Somebody, he said, what if I'm not interested? I don't want to use it. I have my system. I have my things. So the answer was from Anthony so strong. No, this is the way. and what's funny and that this vendor turned to be the highest selling vendor on that.
Okay.
When I cut him the check, I guess it was 3,000 something.
Okay, so you just said something that you haven't talked about yet, and I'm sure our guests are wondering what you mean. You cut him a check, so we'll get into that as well. So so when you did that, what did you cut the check for Anthony, right?
No, for the vendor.
Oh, for the vendor. Okay.
Anthony is different check.
Oh, okay, different check. Okay.
Yeah. Because normally what we do is we do. Sorry.
So did that vendor know that that's what he sold?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
The only challenge, or because normally whenever you are in every day, when you have 10 people, one, he is always in the other side as always, but the other people, they are okay. And the 10 become good by then. Even he joins the platform now as a restaurant. Different story.
Okay. So
Yeah.
let me get this straight then. So the festival signs up with your product, and each vendor has to sign up, assuming, well, we'll use Jerkfest as the example. Each of those vendors signed up, and all the payments go through you or through Rescounts, and then you pay each vendor at the end of the festival or at the end of the day, or it doesn't matter, however you negotiate. But so you are the one who ends up paying all the vendors, as opposed to them getting the cash like immediately, or Visa and everything. Okay.
And in this piece, there is pros and cons. Pros that for the vendor, even sometimes cash, they don't know how much I sold by then. It is good that cash not counted, however, but did I get 10 or 5? The guy on the cashier, maybe he put it wrongly in another spot, so it is loose. And the cons for sure, it is revenue that it is a proven revenue. But we always like to be legitimate in all our transaction, everything. We are giving a solution, and we are giving a better option for everybody, for vendor, for festival organizer, and for attendee. So we like to focus on the experience itself, where everybody will become happy. Even if you have a challenge with one vendor or two, we see how can we sort it out. But the original idea, same like for any festival, when they do for food vendor to join, you have to pay, for example, 1,500, assumingly. And the vendor will say, but last year it was 12, now it is 15. What they will tell? They will do 12, or they will do everything changing. So this is a piece, and adding such a technology in your event, it is a mandate. As we are saying now, we are getting there by all means. If we have a crisis, how can you communicate? Now, what if, God forbid, we have 10 cases of COVID in one of the events? How are we going to pass the message for the attendee? We don't know.
I'm just thinking, even, in the last few years, we've had, really severe weather storms in the industry on a whole, and stage collapsing. I mean, that's a real extreme. How, COVID is too, but, would there be a way to be able to send a message out that way?
Absolutely, 100%.
Okay. And what on-site technology does an event need in order to have this application? Do they need Wi-Fi? Do they need to be able to provide any of that if they don't already, or if it's not available on the property that they're on, for, let's say?
Basically, as we know, everything is connected to the internet. We need to have an internet, but we have always a plan B. If the place does not have an internet ready, or the place doesn't have, we come with our different internet devices. It's called MiFi, which is like your router at home. It is basically the same, where it covers up to a specific number of devices. And this is what we did in Taste of Middle East. We have Hamza here. How are you, Hamza? Good to see you. We were joining with different every 5 or 6 vendors. They have the internet, just to make sure that internet is strong. We have no glitch, and this is what will happen. We have 0 glitches or 0 technical problem in all the events. So internet is covered.
Okay, so you're sort of providing everything that's required, pretty much, except the event and the people. Right? So you're providing all the technology as well as the internet if it's needed within that capacity. Wow, that's interesting. So what's the future for, like, do you see this going? Where do you see this going? I mean, like, how, I don't know. I'd like to hear from the floor to see what, our attendees here, if you have any questions or, any input onto what Hany is saying, because I think it's interesting. And yeah, I don't know what else to ask you, Hany. I think we've covered pretty much everything. Is there any questions from the floor? Do we have, any curiosity about this product? Oh, I have one question. I know I'm not supposed to be helping you. What is the cost to a festival to implement this? Because it's free, it's a free app for the users. What's the cost for a festival to participate? And I know it's probably a scale, but just a general idea, I guess. Nah, I don't know.
Yeah, that was going to be my question too for that too, because that's the first thing the vendors are going to ask on the festivals. Thank you, Hany.
Thanks, Hasma.
So basically, for Skip the Line, we do nothing for a food vendor, for organizers. They don't pay. Actually, we pay the organizers.
Oh.
Yeah. So
okay.
This is one cherry on the top now.
Okay. Now with a sprinkle of,
yeah. So we do, for the Skip the Line, we do charge some processing fees. Probably normally it is $1 or 1.5, where we give 1/3 for the organizer and the rest for us. So this is for the Skip the Line. Now for the new features that we are adding, it is, as I'm saying, it is a la carte. So if they need the POS system, it is different than having the whole lump sum with the reporting and Skip the Line and food vendor. For example, let me be specific. So some of the organizers, like cities, they are the one arranging it. So they said, we don't want to charge the vendors. We will do it ourselves. So we need to pay one lump sum, and that's it. We need a solution. So this is different than organizers. They need to push it to their vendor, and they need a vendor to pay. But if this is the case, so normally it is for vendor between, if it is one day event, I guess it is $89 per day. And if it is up to 3 days, it will be $150. So within the range between 100 to 200 per food vendor. It's not a huge amount. And that what was applicable already. So we didn't push it up.
So, okay. So Julia has a question. What is the customization level for the event organizer? As the organizer, do I have direct access to my registration restaurant control, or do we have to go through Rescount to coordinate changes customization?
What type of customization are we talking about? Thanks, Julia, for the question, but if you can explain a bit more.
Unmute yourself, Julia, and if you don't mind. I can't unmute right now due to yard work. Oh.
Okay.
The joy of working from home, right? Okay, she's typing it in.
The organizer, do I have access to my registration?
So I'm wondering, do you brand it? So let's talk about that. Do you brand the Rescounts to the festival name? Do you, can it be done that way? Or is it pretty much just the Rescount brand?
The application itself, it is Rescounts. However, every event, what we do is normally put the logo in all food vendors, in everything. So you have a logo, you have the location, you have everything for you. And now in the new release, you will see all information you need to add. So if I got it correctly from Julia, you have 100% customization, do whatever you want to do through the Rescounts platform. You will have an access as an organizer, different than your vendor. For example, vendor can do what they want to do, and you as an organizer, you are overruling it, or you are the one managing it. So you want to change, you want to add, you have a full control, and you will see all sorts of numbers. You will see that vendor X has sold so many items, this is the revenue, and so forth.
She said in the event, if the event is live and there needs to be changes made to the app experience, change in vendor, change in schedule, change in capacities, can I go in to do the setup as the organizer and make these adjustments, or does someone at Rescounts have to do this on the system end of things?
100% you can do it.
Okay. And Kyle's asking, this service sounds like a great option. Would organizers or vendors have to provide an additional staffing for runners or take orders in line? Also, would attendees still have an option to order purchase with cash at the vendor without using the app?
Let me take the first question. Or now have to provide any additional staffing to runner to take orders in line? I didn't see that they add more staff, but they just communicate with one person, you take the order in line. What I saw is vendors, when they go, they have so many people with them. So they didn't have this option. The idea of runner, it is totally unique concept that we are adding with the next event coming in, because we just introduced the delivery option in the platform that we have Rescounts regularly. So I thought, why don't we add the delivery option to the event? Maybe some people will interest, they don't mind to pay additional 50 cents or $1 and getting my food where I am. So this is for the runner. And anytime at any place within Ontario, we as Rescounts, we can provide additional staffing, but this is not including in all or any fees. It will be additional fees for sure. Then the second part, what does this on say? If they want to pay on cash, 100% they can. The way you decide as an organizer, you need to still open the door for cash, sure. You need to open the door cash also, but you need to use the POS system, and that will be the best piece. So POS, like the same when you go to McDonald's, they put their order in and then they pay cash, but you have a track how much they sold in cash, how much in credit, and so forth. Also, one more piece, I guess, from here until our next season, we will be adding the paying in advance, like the idea of your gas station or where customers, they pay in advance $50, so it is a credit, they can use it anywhere just to scan their barcode and to use it. So this is additional features that it will be added to.
So like the RFID concept, is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Okay.
In a way or another, this is what we are thinking to implement as well. It's not ready yet, but it's coming in.
Okay. Oh, interesting. So I have to say there was, with the pandemic, is Dave still on here? No, I don't see him. We had submitted, some people came and submitted plans through us to the government for opening up festivals during the pandemic and safe festivals. And one of the ideas was, pods, like it was a music festival and there was pods, and then you could order your food and have it delivered. So I was just thinking, oh man, this would have been, it would have been a great solution. I don't know if they had a solution or not, but they had somebody, it was like a restaurant, but in a parking lot where it was a music festival. And they had like turnarounds too. It was like you could be there for 2 hours, and then, the next reservation came in. So it was interesting.
And by the way, also it could be applicable for all festival now drive-through. So where you have the lineup of cars for 2 kilometers, they are waiting just to place their order. So now they can put it on the app and they go just pick it up and go. That could be another option.
Oh, wow. Well, this is kind of opens up the gate a little. No, so it doesn't really matter either if it's a ticketed event or a free event. It doesn't matter, right? Okay.
No, it is all about the ticketing event that we talk about. If they are using any other sort of tickets, that's totally fine. If they don't use and it is a free event, still we can give the option just to collect the database, just to collect the information of our attendee. So this option is valid too.
Okay. Hamza, do you have anything else to
Yes,
add? Because
yes.
I saw you.
Thank you so much. Just a couple of questions. The POS system, I don't know if I missed it. So can the vendor have their own like debit machine for Visa, debit, and all of it? Or is that all the debits and everything? Even if people don't order through the Rescount app, when they get to the cashier, they can pay debit or Visa like on your POS system, or do they have like their own machine for debit and Visa?
The option is there.
Okay, so
If-
the option is open.
yeah.
Okay. And
Uh,
for the delivery option, because like I'm doing a hybrid event this year for Taste of the Middle East, which is in partnership with Street Eats Market. So there's a lot of lineups because it's only 100 people at a time because it's gated, right? So there's going to be lineups. So I'm sure people are going to love the idea of the delivery. When you say like I can order from the vendor and you deliver it to me, if they have a busboy, you said, or I don't know what you called it. You guys know where the person is through a GPS? Okay, so you'll know where the
it is by the
location
live tracking.
by the live tracking. That's
There's
really
live
good, actually.
tracking on that too. Sorry, Hamza.
No worries, but that's exciting because we have lineups this year with Street Eats Market. So I was thinking like I would love to get my food in the lineup if I'm really hungry. So that would work because the lineups are going to be big, right? I love that.
Looking.
I was even thinking, one of the other people on this talk that's in here is one of our vendors who's a busker. I mean, if he wants to eat, I mean, standing in line on stilts is not necessarily, you tower above everybody, but it would be interesting that he would be able to, that buskers or people who are wandering, volunteers and staff would be able to get delivered to them, assuming that they stay in one place though. Do they need to be in one place? I'm like, Hamza, if she's ordering her food and she's running around the event, are you going to be able to find her? Yes, you're saying.
Of course, this is among the challenge that will be faced. However, we are expecting our customer to stay. If he keeps on going, we will not keep on going too, because there is others.
Yeah.
So cases will always happen, and some age case and people, and that will happen. But we are talking about the majority or the norm. This is what we are building on.
Okay. Well, this is really interesting.
I have
Go
one
ahead.
more question. Sorry. And you can message directly the customer, like you can message them directly.
As long as we have their information 100%.
Then you can message them directly. Okay, I just have one comment and then I'm done. I've worked with Hany before at Taste of the Middle East at Young Dundas Square before COVID. Just if people don't know him here, like the best customer service you can ever get from him. He will work with you as a festival, like until to make sure everything is very smooth. So that's one thing that really stood out with working with Hany. I was a little like scared, of course, to switch everything, but like now I feel like we're ready to, like I'm ready to tell the vendors 100% like this is the way we're gonna go, because at the end of the day, as a festival, you need the data and the analytics to be able to access grants, sponsorships. So that's really important, I think, personally. So just a comment and an opinion. So thank you for your time, Hany. Thank you.
Thanks,
that is a great testimonial, like Jay said. But Hamza, I do have a question for you. The fear of change, because that's I don't know, post-COVID, who knows? But like, we're used to doing things a certain way. And how did you do a test base, or did you just dive right in?
No, so in 2019, that was the festival at Young Dundas Square. And my struggle as Taste of the Middle East, that's why we were going to move to Nathan Phillips Square, and then COVID happened, is we needed the space because there isn't Middle Eastern festivals that are happening. Like we're the only Taste of the Middle East in the downtown core. So we had lots of lineups. We had vendors that finished food at 8 p.m. So with Rescounts, it helped. So I didn't, to answer like directly your question, I did not dive right in, and Hany knows, like I was still in a position where I was sort of scared to put those rules on my vendors, right? Because we're still new, 2 years in. But now after 4 years now, because we did Kensington Market last year and I'm working with Street Eats Market, I feel like once you test it out and when you work with Hany and you see the technology and you see like how perfect it is and its customer service, It's so much easier for me now to convince the vendor, but I wouldn't even go that route. I would just say like, this is it. This is what we're doing, because I need analytics. Like, it's the biggest struggle for me as a festival is the analytics. That's
Yeah,
what's
I
going to
think
get the funding.
that's the same for all festivals, especially free ones, because
Yes.
there's no way to collect data except on when you have you hire somebody to come in and do the surveys for you, and then you're only getting a smattering of it. So,
and that's expensive too. Like, I haven't been able to afford that. So we've done our own surveys. But even surveys, some people want to do it, some people don't. So this year, like, I'm planning to do both because it's a hybrid event. So 100% Rescounts and surveys, so that we can get hopefully the closest analytics. And the city is really important for the tourism grants and all of that.
Yes, yeah. Well, it's great reporting back into the city, like you were saying, right? Like what's happening at your festival.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you for your input. Any other questions on the floor? Kyle.
Yeah, I had one more question. This all sounds really awesome and like a really helpful thing. I know with some common food delivery apps, it charges a fee, and then it also takes a percentage that would go to the vendor, like a percentage of the total sale. Just so I understand better, with your app, it does charge like a $1.50 service fee. Is there a percentage of the sale that also that goes to the service, or like how does that break down for the vendor?
We have so many options in this piece. Basically, if you don't want to charge the vendors, that's totally fine. But you as an organizer, you will pay for the service to be implemented. One. Option two is vendor to pay activation fees within this 2 or 3 days, and no cut, nothing, zero. He will take the whole amount. So this is the second option. And we will have, if you like, a mix of both per order, that we charge the customer one piece and then we charge the vendor another piece. This is a third option. So basically, let's give a specific. In Jerk, we charge the vendors. It was, as I'm saying, for the 3 days, if I remember correctly, it was $199 or $149, one of both, for vendor, and then zero cut. It's only the credit card fees, but which is not us, it is bank fees. And then we charge for the user, it was $1.5 or $2 as a processing fees, and it was $75.25 as a split between us and the vendors, and the organizer. So the basic concept, Kyle, is now you are introducing a service. You are including a different taste. You are saving your back in anything happen with data and information post and pre, and another marketing tool to communicate with your attendee anytime you want. And on the top of it, you're not paying, actually you are getting.
Yeah, that sounds great. So I'm guessing when you're working with a festival organizer, you're given the options and you see the price breakdown, so you can pick what works best for how your festival works.
Right, because one of the festivals that you've been in, it was a debate with the organizer. He wanted to charge $3 per transaction, and I said, "Oh, this is too much. I can't. We need to make it easy and not to get the people push back." So after a lot of debate, we reached $2. But he said, no, let's push it $3, because at the beginning I was saying $1. He said, no, this is too little. You don't know my customer. I know it better. It's been years and years. I said, okay, let's do it. And it turns to be that he's right. We were not having a pushback for processing fees at all at that event.
Oh, that sounds great. I mean, I know COVID has required a lot of us to find new ways, and a lot of us who maybe weren't familiar with apps, especially food delivery apps before, became very familiar because it was how we got. So I imagine that will also translate into the festival world, that now we're a lot more familiar and a lot more comfortable with it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's great. Thanks so much.
Thanks, Kyle. So Hany, did you find, just from a vendor perspective, did they get more accurate numbers? Did they find that their sales went up, went down, was the same, or did they track that? Because you wouldn't have known from previous years, but did they?
Absolutely, yes. increase of revenue. As I'm saying, one of the vendors, he got an additional $3,000
Okay.
because he's having, when we said by the end, if he's within the 2 or 3 days of event, he's getting normally 20K or 15, whatever it is. He got another 3,000 because these 3,000, he didn't see them in lineup. He got what he's getting in line.
Right.
And this information is his. If he need later on, he has a restaurant. He's not just a food vendor or catering. He has a restaurant, and he need to communicate with his attendee to tell them to send an email to say get 20% discount with the same food or the same menu, or try any of the things in this location. He can do that. It is his own attendee. They tried their food.
This is interesting. My mind is kind of going. Yeah, it is. I won't do it here, but this was really interesting. So we are 10 minutes out or 9 minutes away from the hour being up. Does anybody have any questions? Any input? All right. Well, if you need Hany's information, you can reach out to me. When I sent the email out this morning, I put his email in there. He got it originally. So you'll have that if you still have your email. But he is around, and Jay posted his website in the chat room. Hany, anything else you want to add that we didn't cover?
Pretty much in terms of features, it's already covered. In terms of adding values that Rescounts can add, it's already there. We can say one piece as the distance, we are not really restricted. Like, it doesn't have to be within GTA's event, even if it is out of GTA, if it is 3 hours away, 4 hours away, it's very simple, because we jump in a call like this, walking, just onboarding the organizer first, showing every single detail, trying themselves, make a demo, see what things goes. And then if we can arrange with different vendors or different volunteers and other meetings, like here, half an hour, more than enough Zoom meeting to walk them through the whole things. And on the day of event, we are having our customer service team. Normally, our 1-800 number, we are 18 hours live. So a person, we will take the phone and answer your request, which is not available in the market.
So you don't have to be on site. You don't physically have to be on site. Like anybody from your organization.
No, because it's already there. Everything is available. If you need more, yes, we can be there. At the beginning. If it is big event or they have some challenge, we can jump in for sure. But I just need to say it is so flexible. You don't really need to have people, oh my God, they didn't hear, they are not here. If some organizers are flexible and they are tech savvy, no need for anything. If you feel more confident to have our team, 100%. For all previous event in 2019, all the event we were there. But I'm just saying, because coming back to industry and maybe next year or something, we have in some weekend 10 events happening or 20 events happening in different cities.
Right.
So, and this is the main point that I'm saying. In terms of technology, be confident enough. Technology, you will not have a glitch, even if 50 festivals is happening on the same time, 100 people are ordering on the same minute. No, it glitches. But in talking about if a human being are not with you, we have our call center. Somebody will call, troubleshoot, whether it is for vendors or troubleshoot for customer. I don't know, how can I place my order? I'm looking to see that. All these questions, we are there to help.
Okay, perfect.
Point.
Thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you everyone for being here, and again on Tuesday. Our next Tuesday talk is next week. We have Louise Jackson from Louise Jackson Media, who's going to be talking about reconnecting tourism. So we're pretty excited to have her back. And we will be slowing these Tuesday Talks down through July, August, and September. We'll only be doing 2 a month. I think that's what we're going to be doing. So I just wanted to give you a bit of a heads up on that. And we will be announcing Louise shortly. And I hope to see you all next week. Have a great day. The sun's still out here in Waterloo. So yeah, have a wonderful day. Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Hany.
Thanks, Debbie. Pleasure. Thank you, everybody.